Hey there, I was just about to build this workflow and realized that it would be pretty interesting to just record a video and show you guys the entire process just to show how easy it is to build an enrichment workflow with the new Firecrawl agent. By the way, this video is not sponsored at all. It's just because I've seen a lot of enrichment workflows inside of n8n that doesn't really do what they say they do, just because they don't have the necessary tools to do that. When you want to enrich data, you'll have to have access to some type of scraping tool, some type of searching tool, and all that. And on top of that, you have to have a pretty good, reliable AI agent that orchestrates everything and manages to fetch for all the data. If I have a spreadsheet just like this, I would place URL. What the workflow is supposed to do is just identify that I have Firecrawl in this row, and I want to populate the URL for Firecrawl. Easy. Just a search can solve that. But then I want the CO name. So it would probably have to search the CO name that could be found with search. Maybe it would have to scrape as well. Then the CO email. And then is this a potential B2C lead from 0 to 10? I could place a lot more columns here. But the thing is, I want to create a workflow that should work dynamically for any given spreadsheet. Honestly, this seems magic. Like 5 years ago, doing this would be like really annoying. But now that we have agents, this should be pretty seamless. I mean, I think it should be. I haven't created this workflow before, so I might just stop along the way to think. But yeah, let's get building. Let's first start off connecting the spreadsheet, so I can do that from the Google actually spreadsheet. Where is it? Okay, Google Sheets. Nice. So now let's get rows. Let me add my credentials. The boring part, let's just create a new project. This new project will be named Agents Workflow. Nice. Let me hit create. Now that I'm inside the project, I can click on get started. This is really repetitive. I feel like I've done this so many times here in the channel that eventually I'll just start skipping this part. So let's select external Leo side guide.dev. Next, agree, create. Now that that's created, nice. So create OAuth client. Now let's select web application. It could just be that. OAuth redirect URI. Let's just place that in. Okay, I got the client ID. Place in the client ID there. Hit OK. Now let me open up the client ID. And now I guess we have to client secret. Let me fill in the client secret there. And now I have to get access to, what's it called? Yeah, let's go over to the library. Let's type in Sheets, Google Spreadsheet API, enable. As soon as that's enabled, we should be able to set the scopes. What I like to do is just sign in with Google. As soon as I hit that, I can try to sign in here. Let's see what shows up. Okay, so view and manage metadata of files in your Google. So let me go over to, for some reason, like there's kind of a layout shift here. See, like I'm taken to a different page. Data access. Let's see if the scopes is in here. Okay, add and remove scope. And in here, let me just type in whatever, or just copy this, place it in there, hit enter. Wait, is it different? So view and manage. Oh, yeah, this sucks. Your data. Oh, see, like this is from Google Drive. So I have to go back to the library, Google Drive. Now enable the Google Drive API as well. As soon as that's done, we could now head back to the scopes. So just click on OAuth consent screen. It'll take me to this page, data access, add scopes. Nice. Now let me just place that in, toggle it, see, edit, create, and delete only the specific blah, blah, blah. So let's do that. Let's select that. And now there's the last one, which is related to the spreadsheet. Nice. Date. Seems like they are all filled in. Hit save. Okay, let's go back. Let me scroll down and allow the access. Connection successful. Nice. Now I can select the enrich me, please. Nice. The sheet will be probably sheet 1. Now, as for the filters, let's see what I get by just executing this like that. Okay, nice. So I think that just with these, we should be able to send it over as a prompt to Firecrawl's agent. Let's search for agent. Let's get this one that awaits completion. Let me connect that node there, and actually let me pin this previous one. Okay, so to get everything in the prompt, let's just, I think we can get rows in sheet, and then I think it's .all. Okay, yeah, we got everything. Let's see if the Firecrawl agent is smart enough to understand that this is what needs to be filled out. I'm not going to define a schema. I'm just going to execute this step and wait for the Firecrawl agent to come back with something. Okay, Firecrawl status failed, bad request. This is probably because I just sent an array and the prompt is expecting a string. So let me just place JSON stringify, and this should solve it. Actually, yeah, let me execute step and see if it's the case. Okay, so for a request like this, it might take a lot of time, and 300 seconds, which is 5 minutes, was not enough. So the job timed out. It gives you a job ID that you can use this exact ID to then, let's save this, open up Firecrawl. Let's get this get agent status node. And in this node, let me place in the exact ID they gave me. Okay. So with that node, let me execute step. Didn't get anything back, so means it's not done. If this ever happens to you, what you might want to do is either increase the max wait time to, I don't know, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Like remember, this is an agent crawling the entire web after the data that it needs to enrich your spreadsheet. So it does take some time. Or you can, like, if you're doing this manually, and I guess that this isn't something that you need to keep iterating, keep doing, but yeah, if you're doing it manually, just have this other node, which you could just click execute step. If you get an empty array, it means that Firecrawl is not done, like the agent is not done fetching for that. Or if you have some automated process that needs to use this agent, what you can do is just go over to settings, click to continue using the error output node. Then in here, you would, I don't know, you can just like loop over the items. In the middle of this loop, you could place a wait node. This wait node could check every so seconds exactly this. So let me connect that, delete this connection, and yeah, just basically do something like this, which would keep checking to see if the process is done. I don't want to do that for what I'm building, so let me just go with the execute step until Firecrawl is done getting all the data. Okay, so we got the result back, and it's this right here. It didn't really find some of them, but that's okay. Let me pin that, and now let me have it update our spreadsheet with the data found. So just sheet, Google Sheets, penned, or update row in sheet. Should be this. Okay, let's select enrich me please, the sheet 1. Actually, let me see what happens if I just map it automatically. Execute step. Yeah, that wouldn't work. But what might work is just getting everything, copying it over. So CO name, CO email, potential B2C lead, telephone, and yeah, ignore data. I don't even know why it generated it. Oh, there it is. Let me just remove that. Okay, so this is done. Okay, so let me execute step. Column to match on parameter is required. Oh, I forgot to just toggle the company. So execute step again. And there it is for the first column. Okay, it didn't manage to find his number, which if I were a CEO, I would be pretty happy about. But we have a problem here where it's just going through, we're only getting the first element of the array. So the way that we can solve that is by breaking this down. So to fix that, let's use the split node. Split out. Let me remove this connection. Let's plug that in. Okay, the field that I want to split out is the data field. Include no other fields. Execute step. There we have it. Now if we open this up, it'll be all messed up. Yeah, let me just drag them over. Drag the CO email as well. Potential B2C lead dragged, and telephone also dragged. Okay, now let's just execute the step and see. This is definitely not right. Let me check company. Okay. Oh, it's because it started at company number. That's not what I want. I want company like that. Now let me delete this execute step, and there we go. And as for these errors, I think we can fix that with the nullish coalescing. Is that the name? Just place that in. Not sure because of this empty here. So execute step. Let me actually delete everything. And now execute the step again. Yeah, we still get the error. Probably because, oh, actually, it did find the number, but it's identifying it as a an operation or such. So actually, I think we can solve this with the cell format and let n8n format it. Let's generate everything. And there we go. Okay, looking pretty cool. Let me just center a few things. Okay, yeah, let's change these companies here to something like Apple, Tesla, XAI, another company. Come on, Logitech, Nike. Okay, these should be fine. Now, if I save this, let's unpin that. Let me actually leave that pin. Let's just remove the connection and actually remove the error thing here. Also, let's take this node down here. I could have just connected it like this, but whatever. Okay, let's see. Now we need the split out as well. Let's get that. Okay. So one thing I'm wondering is we'll need to define a schema here just because every single time the AI agent like generates this, it might come up with a different schema. So the way that we can ensure that the schema is persistent and that we can always use that specific schema is by just defining it like this. So what I like to do is just get the put example, go over to ChatGPT and say, this is an out. I need to get this as a JSON schema so that I can tell the LM to always output it in this same exact schema. Really redundant, but okay. And then I like to get an example. Like let's go over to the n8n schema type, define something like this example. Place that in. Okay, everything noted. Here's a JSON schema, blah, blah, blah. What's cool about this is that it gives the LLM actually a way to understand like what should be filled in throughout all of these values. Okay, let's just place that in. Don't really think we need this schema, but it's fine if you just leave it there. Okay, so let's save and execute workflow. Yeah, we're getting some errors with the JSON schema. Let me try something different. Let me actually use this array from the response that we got previously and just place it in here, like generate from example, right? I mean, that's the idea for that. Okay, it seems like it worked. Let's wait for it to generate everything and I should be back in a bit. And by the way, guys, this is the laziest way possible just because I didn't really place a prompt. I just sent all the rows exactly like I got them from Google Spreadsheet over to the Firecrawl agent. So the results can honestly get a lot better. And there we go. These are all the results. I don't think it's in the correct structure. Let's see. Oh, actually, yeah, this JSON example really didn't help, but I don't know. For some, oh, it's iterating. It's not like we have to toggle this. Let me click to execute once. Okay, I forgot about that. So let me save it, split out. Actually, I'll have to run this again just so that it outputs a single result. That was bad. Okay, now with this result, let me pin it, by the way. Save. Now we go to the split part. Didn't really find the data because the data is inside of another data or whatever. I have to improve that schema, but for now, this should do. Okay, separated everything, execute step. Now it updated the spreadsheet and there we have it. Unfortunately, I didn't find Elon Musk's number, but I think this was enough to show you guys the huge potential with this single agent node from Firecrawl. Okay, so this is all very nice. So now if we just have a sheet like this with some companies there, let me just remove 2 of them just to make it faster. Execute workflow. The workflow should execute, have the Firecrawl agent fetch for all the data, and then soon enough, this should all be populated. Let's wait a bit. Let me zoom in while it's going on. Okay, there we go. Pretty nice. Because I'm an overthinker and I like to create cool things, let's have a sheet trigger node. And what this node will do is the following. So let me, wow, why do I have to add this again? Let's just copy that, client ID. Let's copy over the client secret, which I have to remember to delete because or else whoever watches this will have access to everything. See, delete everything, blah, 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 blah. I think we already have all these permissions going on. Yeah, let's just click to allow. This should be fine. And now, yeah, no thanks. Document, enrich me, please. Then as for the sheet, sheet 1, trigger, whenever a row is added. Okay, so now whenever a row is added, this workflow should be triggered. Let's publish this version whatever. I'm not sure if it'll run considering that it's localhost. But yeah, let's place in something like Firecrawl. Okay, hit enter. Let's go over to executions. Okay, it's already executing right here. It actually already executed? Oh, it executed for Firecrawl. Nice. So probably when I was entering Lovable, it started fetching for that. Now let's wait for it to execute again and see if it fetches for the Lovable data. So this is cool. Like you could have it automatically just fill in data for your forms just by adding whatever name of company in this column here. Let's wait for it to fetch for the lovable data. Oh, and we should probably add a node that deletes from the array the object that already has items included inside of it, or else it'll always fetch for all of the companies every single time, and that is really not efficient. Instead of connecting this, let's connect it directly with Firecrawl. So, okay. Oh, no, it won't work. No, never mind. That'll actually not work because we already have this in here. Then we'd have to change this and everything. So instead of doing that, let's actually add a filter node, and this filter node will check if, yeah, we can check the company. So if the company string is empty, then yeah, it'll discard the items. So let's add a filter node for this, and this filter node will basically, I think we could look at the URL. So if the URL is empty, or actually, yeah, only if it's empty that it'll continue. So the only one that's empty is lovable. So that is what will be sent over to the Firecrawl agent. Okay, it's already much better. Let's publish that. Publish. And probably, yeah, if I leave lovable in there and just let's add something like OpenAI. So after adding OpenAI, now I'm more certain that it'll identify that there is an additional line and actually trigger the Google Sheets node. So now let me zoom in and wait for the magic. Should be in by any minute now. Okay, there it is. So lovable, OpenAI, CO names, potential B2C lead. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then.